Hello, and welcome to another Calypso tutorial. First of all, you might ask, what is a synchronized music score? Well, in a synchronized music score, the spot will follow an audio recording, and it will perfectly show you the measure in your score, which you currently can hear. This video will show you how to synchronize your song, The Entertainer, to the audio recording, which we've attached in the last video. At first, synchronizing your music score might seem a bit tricky, and your first attempts may fail. But soon, you'll become more experienced, and then, you will love this great feature of Calypso. Your written notes come alive. This is the score of your previously prepared song, The Entertainer. As you can see, it already includes bar markers, jump markers, and tempo markers. If your music score includes any repeats or jumps, you have to set up the jump markers as required by the audio recording, before we start with the synchronization. Any significant tempo changes should also be set up before the synchronization. As we've already prepared this stuff, let's switch to the performance mode. In the Recordings Manager window, you can see the already attached audio recording. For the synchronization, the tempo of the music score should match the recording as best as possible. So let's start the playback and then open the song settings. We will now adjust the tempo to the audio by tapping with the beats. It might be slightly over 150 BPM. As you will see in a moment, a slightly slower spot is easier to synchronize than a spot which is too fast. Stop the audio. The audio tempo of about 150 BPM is way faster than my guess of 115 in a previous video. I, therefore, should temporarily delete the tempo markers in the edit mode, which would otherwise disturb the synchronization procedure. I'm going to delete both tempo markers. And then, switch back to the performance mode. We're now ready to start the synchronization. Reset audio position to the beginning. Activate the sync button. And start the song by double tapping on the first bar. Reset the audio position to the beginning. Activate the sync button. And start the song by double tapping on the first bar. Here, let's take a short break. As you can see, the spot almost reached bar number 5, but should have been here at number 4. That's why we tapped at that bar, exactly when we heard the first note. We have placed a sync mark at bar number 4, which currently is just not visible. This sync mark tells Calypso when exactly the spot should be at that measure. Synchronizing is nothing more than giving Calypso some hints as to when exactly the spot should have reached a certain bar. The recording will continue now, with a very slowly played, upbeat. So, we again tap at bar number 5, when we hear the first note of it. In general, you should set sync marks sparingly. The delay of the spot increases more and more. You see now why we've set our tempo a bit slower than required. It is much easier for us to pull the spot forward than to hold it back. Let's again take a break. Here, I intentionally made a mistake. When I tapped into ending number 2, the spot was still at bar number 67. By forcing the spot to advance over a required jump, the spot later won't jump from bar number 69 to 71. We will add the missing sync mark later on. But for now, let's continue with the synchronization. Yes. That's it. Before we will improve our synchronization in the next video, let's recap the best strategy for an easy synchronization. The prerequisite is that you have set all jump markers, as required for the recording. For example, if in a recording, a section is repeated twice instead of once, you should set the repetition count of a jump source accordingly. To do so, double-tap the red jump. The general tempo, and the tempo markers within your score, if any, should match the recording, as close as possible. If the tempo of the recording varies, you should set a slightly slower tempo than that of the audio. If both, your jumps and the tempo, perfectly match with the audio, you don't even have to sync with the recording. If you have more than one recording attached to your score, they will usually differ, at least in the tempo. Your general tempo for the song won't fit for all of them, and therefore, you will likely synchronize each recording individually. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video, where we will edit and improve our synchronization.